Hello everybody and welcome to this SUPboarder video. Thank you very much for tuning in. Today we are talking about using training aids to help and progress your paddling. Now, to be honest, this is not a subject that I have really been diving that much into beforehand. I never really used to use balance boards, training aids. In fact, I've hardly skateboarded at all. I don't even own a skateboard. You'll never see me at the skate park. So this was really interesting for me to come across these training aids and think about how it would help me and how it would help you progress your paddling out on the water. There are so many similar feelings that you could feel when you are on the land using all of this equipment, and also when you are out on the water. Your weight distribution, where you put the paddle in the water, how you hold the paddle, how your arm positioning, where you're looking, everything, your feet movement, just a whole lot comes into it. And we're going to be breaking that down in this video today. So we really hope that you get a lot out of this video. I'm not going to be really teaching you how to do things, but this is just a great insight into how these products will help you become a better paddler. First off, let's just get an idea of the products that we are using in this video today. We're using Aztron's range of training aids, balance board, which is the Dusk model. It's a longboard style. It's 44 inches long and uses a roller system to improve your balance. Then we move over to the skateboards that we've been using. We have been using the Gravity Longboard skateboard. We've been using the Forest skateboard as well, and then the Ocean Skate too. Now with these skateboards, we've also been using the land paddle from Aztron, and of course Aztron's helmet, which keeps us safe when we are skateboarding. Now the skateboards are definitely aimed at the more SUP surfer, or even maybe whitewater paddler. If you've got a lot of turbulence or if you're moving really fast on your stand-up paddleboard, then the skateboard is going to be a great training aid for you. So I'm going to come back to those a little bit later, and I'm going to start with the balance board from Aztron, because this one is where you get the most progression and the most improvement out of your everyday paddling. Now there's two reasons for this. Using that roller system, you can put this board on the roller long ways, or you could put it sideways on the roller as well. So you can actually practice both your forward and back balance and also your side to side balance. Using that roller sideways, you get a great understanding of how the board might feel underneath you if it does, say, get hit by a wave, or if it does get pushed around in the chop, or if you are touring, or if you are paddling in the ocean, how the bumps affect your board a little bit as well. If you really want to take it up a notch, you put this board lengthways on the roller, and that changes completely the balance. It's from side to side this time, and yes, you are in that kind of surfing stance kind of feel, but it really gives you a great idea of, again, just how that board might feel if you are on a wave or if you're downwinding. You get a great feel of that heel and toe balance. And now the biggest key point here is to make sure that you're bending your knees. You're getting quite low on this balance board, because that's really what we have to do in stand-up paddling as well. We won't paddle with bent knees. We want a lower center of gravity when we do paddle. If we're standing up really tall, really high, we're not going to have as much balance as if we are down a lot lower. So bending your knees, learning to do that. And then of course, one of the biggest things is just where you are looking when you are on this balance board as well. Especially with that board lengthways on the roller, you always want to keep your eyes forward, looking ahead, and just feeling what's happening underneath your feet. Where you look is where you go when you do paddleboard, and it relates the same to this as well. Now, if you haven't used a balance board before, if you feel a little bit nervous, we grabbed the land paddle that Aztron have, and you could use this as an aid to get you onto the board. You could use it to help you balance. You could also hold on to a wall, hold on to something next to you when you are getting up onto the balance board, or even get someone to just help you and hold you on that board as well whilst you get used to it. And the balance board is a fantastic workout for your legs as well. In that squatting position, your knees are nice and bent, you're nice and low. Oh, it's a leg burner because you're balancing, you're tensing up, your feet are gripping on, you're really wobbling on that board, and it's all happening so your legs are working overtime to try and keep you balanced. Obviously, it very much comes from the core as well. So having a strong core, strong legs is really going to help you with this. But if you don't have strong legs, strong core, grab one anyway, because it's going to build up that strength down there as well. And you'll be able to probably last longer out on the water during your sessions too. So a great tool to really work your body and get you fit, but also help you with that balance. Moving over to the skateboards now, and to be completely honest with you, I haven't really done much skateboarding before. Maybe a little bit here and there, maybe on some really super long boards, but none. And I've been hesitant to do that because falling on concrete hurts, right? It's much nicer to fall in the water when you are SUP surfing or if you are stand-up paddling. Now, in my mind, I've seen skateboarding before. I've seen people using the pole before on a skateboard. I thought, yeah, there's a good crossover there between SUP surfing and skateboarding, and I can see how the movements might be similar here and there. But it's not until you actually try it do you realize that there are so many similarities, and it is such a great tool for you to improve your stand-up paddle surfing when you are out there, be it longboard, be it shortboard, whatever you are riding in the waves. This actually can transform your surfing, and I'll let you know a few reasons why. First off, using the land paddle, it gives you so much more confidence when you are skateboarding. You've got something to hold on to, you can lean on it if you think you are going to fall off. It's a great tool to have to build that confidence. Secondly, that land paddle again, you're getting a lot of the same movements. You can cross the paddle over, you can lean onto it during turns, you can use it to propel yourself along. So there's benefits there, and there's a lot of crossover there. And then the feeling you get when you are carving on a board, or when you're trying to get a little bit of speed, or even just rolling down a hill, is very similar to surfing. You've got that power coming from behind you, pushing you along, propelling you along, and you've got to control that. So that weight distribution as well comes into it too. So the first skateboard I jumped on was the Gravity, which is the longboard skateboard from Aztron, and I also used the land paddle as well. Now this was a great board for learning to cross step on a SUP longboard, say. And you'll notice in the video that I was a little bit hesitant to do it to start with. Obviously you need to get that weight correct, and you don't want to step too far forward. So I'd have to shuffle back toward the back of the skateboard and then cross my foot over. And you notice that maybe my foot wasn't perfectly in the center line on a couple of these clips. Because it's such a narrow board, it's smaller, it makes you think, and it makes you wonder, oh, okay, I've got to get my foot right on that center line for the board to be balanced. And that really translates across to SUP surfing. Of course, you've got a bigger board, it's probably a little bit more forgiving, but the closer you get onto that center line when you are cross-stepping, the smoother it's going to feel, the much easier the transition is going to be as well when you are walking up and back down the board too. Secondly, using that land pole and propelling myself along, it's a workout. It's a real workout in your arms. You can feel it as you are pulling on or pushing on every stroke. I'm going to say that it is a little bit different to your actual paddling, because when you do a paddle, you're pushing down at the top and then pulling down with that bottom hand. You're really driving that paddle in. But with the land paddle, you can't really pull on it with that bottom hand, just because it's going to pull the ball at the end out from underneath the ground. So you really have to plant that top hand and then drive through your top hand to get yourself moving on this board. And then of course you can switch it over as well and paddle on your backside. You could really work on opening up your rotation during cutbacks, during turns, top turns, with the land paddle as well. Cruising along, you can do that bottom turn. You can put that land paddle right out, really draw out your bottom turn, and then switch the paddle over and then go into a cutback or a carve and really lean on that paddle, put it down on the ground, and then draw the skateboard around your body. And you can really get the same feeling as if you were riding a wave. A couple of tips I'll definitely give, and it really comes across from that balance board as well, is just If you get low and bend your knees, you're able to apply a little bit more pressure to that board or that skateboard when you are turning, and you can also get lower center of gravity. So that way when you do pop that land paddle down, you can get a nice carve around. If you are standing up tall, you're not going to be able to apply as much pressure, which means you're not gaining speed. You're not pushing the board down, which is then going to create that drive and speed as it would on a wave. Then of course, the biggest thing again, looking forward. Always look forward where you want to go. If you're looking at the front of the board, chances are you might fall on the front of the board. Remember, falling on concrete hurts. The smaller skateboards, they definitely feel like you're riding a smaller SUP or a shortboard, normal surfing shortboard. Ruben was really good at sliding the tail on this without the land paddle. He'd slide the tail, whip it back around, keep skateboarding down along the road. So he was really making this work, and you can see the crossover between the technique. Obviously weighting up your front foot as you go in for that slide, releasing that tail, board slides around, you've got your arms up in the air for balance as well, but you're also rotating your upper body to get that tail around. And then obviously bringing it back around, you can see Ruben twisting his upper body and then applying pressure to that back foot to be able to get the nose up. He was using the small boards on his ramp, and even using the land paddle, you can see that you can really get a great idea of doing top turns, bottom turns, re-entries. You can get a really good idea of how you can drop into a wave, and also what it feels like to be going up to the top of a wave to do a top turn. So I can see how using a ramp is definitely going to improve your SUP surfing. This video was a really fun one to make because it's something that I wouldn't usually go and do. Grab a skateboard and head up to the skate park. No, you won't see me doing that, but you might see me out there on one of these skateboards just cruising around and practicing some of the moves that I feel like I need to work on with my SUP surfing. I really hope that you found this useful as well, and maybe it's coming into winter where you are, it's going to be cold, it's going to be dark. Maybe you don't want to go out paddling. Get yourself one of these. It's going to improve your technique the next time when you hit the water tenfold. It really, really is. And I highly recommend getting yourself a training aid that you can do at home. You could do the balance board in your living room. You could do it anyway. You could do it brushing your teeth if you really wanted to. And obviously skateboarding, yeah, it takes a little bit more to get outside, but at least you've got a couple of different options to help you next time you get out on the water. Thanks very much for tuning in. I really hope that you enjoyed watching this video and that you did learn a little bit as well. We look forward to seeing you on another SUPboarder video really soon.